All right, we've got Mo Valley assistant coach Pat Giangrosso and MoWest alumni Elias Vaoifi. Vaoifi. Still don't know how to say your name after all these years,
All
but
right.
it's got a lot of vowels in it. Anyway, we're just gonna talk about Elias's experience that they got to go to Worlds last year, which was pretty unique. So, Elias, tell us, and Coach G, tell us the process of how that all came to pass.
Right. Um. So last year we got a couple of other Samoans on the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that are like from Samoa. Like I'm Samoan, but I'm from Kansas City, so I'm not. I don't really count. But they're actually from the island. They know everything about and they've done international competitions. And I was like, well, I think I should be able to get on that. My grandparents immigrated in the '60s, and I mean, and so we talked about it, and we talked to there's a guy named Shane. Shane Reichert.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He wrestled Blue Springs. He was a coach. What's that JUCO called, Coach?
Wentworth?
He was at Wentworth
He was a coach
Military Academy.
Yeah. And so some Samoans got on there, and the Samoans it's not a sport in Samoa. Like, wrestling isn't a big thing. So they don't really know anything about it going on, but they knew that some guys were going to Wentworth, like a good amount of guys from the island, to compete. And so I guess the federation out there was just like, Shane, I mean, you know more than we do. I mean, we just make you the head coach, and you kind of just, tote these guys around. And so he's been in that role, I think, since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And so fast forward to this last year, we've been talking about it since I met Nolan and some other Samoan guys on the team. And then we finally got it ironed out for me and Gino to go with Shane in September. So it kind of worked out well.
It's pretty interesting. What was that experience like? Where were the Worlds at that year? Azerbaijan?
Kazakhstan.
They're all the same. What was that? What was that experience like traveling there and just being a part of that whole tournament?
Well, the travel, I mean, it was just us. It was just me, Gino, and Shane. So it wasn't bad. I mean, as far as like we have to keep track of a bunch of people, but I mean, it was a long flight. It was like a 10-hour flight, something like that.
Yeah, 10 or 12, something like that.
So, what was it like when you guys got there? What was the experience?
Oh, well, we actually arrived like 3 a.m. or something like that when we first got there on a Wednesday, and I think Elias wrestled on Saturday, so it was kind of bang trip, really, but got in, slept for a little bit, and then kind of got up and went and worked out. And we didn't really get to go sightseeing very much just because of time constraints, but it was cool. I mean, ate in the hotel most of I think all the time, so you didn't really get out much when it came to that, but got to go watch a lot of great wrestling.
Yeah. Did it feel like whoa, I'm at the World Championships, or did it feel like once you got there it's like, oh, it's another wrestling tournament? What was that like?
It's definitely my favorite tournament that I've ever been to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, it's just like when I wasn't wrestling, like I was watching people that was like I watch regularly, like on YouTube, and so it was just real surreal. The most surreal thing I think was, so when I was wrestling at MoWest in the 8th grade, we went to Tulsa, and Jordan Burroughs was giving autographs, right? On like got doubles hats. He had all this like cage fighter stuff, and that was really cool. And so fast forward to me and Gino working out at Worlds, and like Team USA is there. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely weird. It's not like a normal thing, but yeah, with Jordan and James Green and all those guys working out on the next mat. And there were some people we recognized, like Jaden Cox was there. There's a guy from Grandview there. So we knew a couple people, but it was interesting. And there's a lot of Mo Valley people too. I mean, Clarissa Chan and Jakara. So
Nate was there.
Oh yeah, and Nate too.
Yeah, Nate Engel. He was there with the Greco team. So
we need to get Nate on a call. We talked about that last night. He would have some stuff to tell.
Yeah. No, it was cool, especially having so many Valley people there, but, experience wise, it was kind of funny. I told a couple of people the morning that Elias went to wrestle, I had gotten up early and my brother called me on one of the apps and we were joking around and I was like, how crazy is this? I'm about to coach a match at the World Championships. I was like, who would have ever thought that was going to happen? And, I'm blessed for the opportunity, but, I was just like, how did this happen? Type of deal.
Crazy.
The tournament itself, it was awesome. The raised platforms, the lights, everything was, awesome. It was a cool experience. I wish I could have done it as an athlete, but, I'll take it as a coach.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, on that, like, it's crazy how, like, we were in the, like, so everybody's sitting by the door and then you're in the tunnel and there's like 5 people. And then as soon as they call your name, we walk out, there's like 100,000 people. Like, it was pretty crazy.
What was the atmosphere like there? How are the fans and everything?
They're loud. It was like the Super Bowl, but for wrestling. Like, it was. That's why I loved it so much, because I was like, this is what wrestling deserves, like, excitement wise. It was mostly. Kazakhstan loves wrestling, so it was mostly Kazakhstan people, but it was a good portion of everybody, and everybody's yelling for everybody just because everybody likes wrestling there. And so it was interesting. Just like the oohs and ahs were huge on, like, throws and takedowns and stuff, and it was just really crazy to see some stuff up close too. Just stuff that you miss. I don't know, like, we watched that first round, the Haji Aliyev versus the Russian, where he got a red card. He went to the other table, grabbed the red card, and threw it at the ref, and they were just off the mat.
He frisbee tossed the red card like completely across the mat at the other refs. It was hilarious, but you have 2 world medalists wrestling in the first round, so
that's crazy.
And he kind of gets hosed on a call on the edge, so but
he got upset.
So let's talk about this transition then. So you do that in the fall, and then you come back, Mo Valley. You had a good year, obviously, and you ended up All American at NAIA Nationals. So how do you think that experience prepared you for that? Because you're at NAIA's. You took a tough loss first round. You had to come back, and did that experience prepare you at all for that?
For sure. I think something that I think last year Nationals I was missing was I was really, like, pressuring myself on results, because, like, I really wanted to place my freshman year. It was just something I wanted to do, and it didn't happen. And I think that a big part of it was just because I felt like, I don't know, it was like do or die if it did. And wrestling, not just at Worlds, but I went to Azerbaijan and Georgia last summer, and I lost a lot. It was just like I learned, like, it's like, losses come. It's not like you wrestle your best, you're not going to change anything. If you just, whether you think I have to win and you wrestle your best, or you just wrestle your best. I think I surprised myself a lot. And so going to Worlds is just like, I lost first round and that was it. But, like, I was prepared to do that or wrestle more. And so going into Nationals and, like, the whole season, really, it was really just, having fun, focused on my faith. And I had a lot more fun this season than my freshman year. So, yeah.
Did you notice a change in him this year after doing all that stuff, Coach G?
Yeah, matured a lot, and he's doing a couple things different on the mat. Just getting more mat time in, and training wise, he knew when his body was hurting, and to be able to take it easy. I kind of joked with him during the years back could tighten up a little bit, and he'd take Elia days and have to not do anything that day. So, and we're like, oh, make a world team and, take Elia day. So, but, the experience, anytime you get to wrestle at an event like that, the experience is awesome. And then when you come back, you realize that, at whatever tournament it is, it's just another match, so kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off, but, to be able to, go, all right, I've been on a bigger stage, I can can cope with this. I can battle through it. So, it kind of helped him out a lot.
Yeah, so. I sat out for like 2 months, I think, this season, like total, all collected together, just because my back was terrible and it just kept getting hurt since like early this season. I heard it and it kept becoming an issue. And even now, I think I'm gonna get an MRI in a little bit because we are working with my chiropractor and stuff about rehabbing my back. I'm doing rehab now. But yeah, it's just something I've been struggling with. I feel like even it was pretty good at nationals too, but I feel like it could have been better too. But we're getting there.
That kind of like leads into my next question, which is about training, basically. And so we're kind of in this weird downtime now, right? With coronavirus and everything, no one can really do what they would normally do in the spring or maybe even the summer coming up. So we're trying in these videos kind of give people ideas of what they should be doing or focusing on at this time. So Coach G, what would you be telling your guys, or what are you telling your guys? How can they still get better even though we can't wrestle or anything right
now? We've actually sent out a couple, through our messaging systems and stuff like that. We've sent out like, hey, here's your daily workout, or hey, you guys need to be doing something, kind of, reminders about, just keeping active. I know you got to do it at home. There's no gyms open, but, running, doing body weight stuff. Some of our guys are lucky enough to have home gyms so they can still lift and that kind of thing. And then, just watching film, watch wrestling, I can tell you right now, I've watched some stuff on YouTube from, old wrestling matches from, Iowa, to Oklahoma State, to, just different dual meets, just watching, and you rewind and be like, hey, what'd that guy do? Like, oh, okay. So, just kind of staying on that. And, if you're lucky enough where you can, you have a wrestling mat in your house, or you have that ability, then, get in and, shadow wrestle, do some things, that you can do that way. But, it's just crazy times, and, do what you can to stay in shape, and, don't go crazy on the food, and, eat healthy, basically. So
that seems to be the common consensus. But you and Pritz last night both talked about watching film, which is good because I think everyone's really focused on like what the different physical things you could do, but you could actually improve your mental game a lot right now, probably. So just slow down and analyze film and watch other people wrestle. So something we've kind of go ahead.
I was gonna say, we have, we use Mat Boss, so our guys can get in and watch all their film from this year, and get in like, all right, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Where am I getting taken advantage of? In positions that, okay, so now I can make a list, and when you can get back on the mat, hey, start working on these things. So, and they can do that from home. They can do it from their phone. So, which makes it awesome for us.
Mm-hmm. All right. Something we've kind of been asking everyone to close it out is, do you have a unique or weird or funny wrestling story you would like to share with the public?
I'm sure I do, but one that kind of always pops in my head is, just being out. I forget what grade I was in, sometime during high school, but I went and wrestled at tournament champions in Ohio when I lived up in PA, and we're wrestling all day, and I don't know what happened. There was some kind of huge mess up in the bracketing system, and next thing I know, it's like 11:30 at night. We're still in like the quarters, and just keep wrestling. Next thing I know, it's like 3:30 in the morning. I'm wrestling the semis, and I literally was like, I told my dad, I was like, hey, just tell the other guy, hey, whenever he's ready to wrestle, just give me 10 minutes. I'm good to go, So I sat in the, aluminum folding chair on the edge of the mat. Next thing I know, my dad's waking me up, and he's like, hey, they're ready. I'm like, oh, okay, groggy as hell. I look out, the dude's got his ankle bands on. He's in the middle of the mat with the ref already. I'm like, half awake, half asleep, go out there to start wrestling. And I'm like, and I was like kind of in the back of my head, Dad, you could have given me a little bit more warning about, getting up, waking up. But it was just kind of, humorous that, I think we ended the tournament like 4:30 in the morning or something like that, and it's like
such a
the whole
wrestling
time,
thing.
Yeah. And my dad the whole time was like, hey, whenever you want, we can roll out. I was like, I haven't lost yet, so might as well stick around. So it was just a fun experience. And it's like you hear, tournaments go along. I'm like, man, this one took the cake on it, really. So
yeah, there is no time at wrestling tournaments. Time stops. I'll let you do one last thing. You guys are obviously, Elias, you've had a good experience at Mo Valley going there, after your first year of wrestling. And what pitch Mo Valley? What do you guys tell people when you're telling people about Mo Valley?
So recently, actually, Drake from Mo Valley, and I talked to him obviously a lot about it. But what really got me when I was leaving South Dakota was I took the visit, and it was my last visit of like a couple schools in the region, and it was just like, the coaches, they really follow through with things. I mean, even in the recruiting process, and the team is really close. I mean, we just have a really close-knit team too, and I mean, I know a lot of teams probably say that, but we're a pretty close-knit team. I mean, among all the different kind of guys that we have on the team from literally all over the country and in the world in some places, or in some cases, and I mean, the education too was something that, I mean, we really have a close connection with teachers too. Something I didn't have at my last school. I mean, you can always contact people, and so it's just really easy to succeed. I mean, or it's not easy, but you get a lot of help, is what I should say, to succeed. I know I've been doing well in class, and hopefully I keep doing well on the mat, and it's a large point of it is to my coaches. So
yeah, there you go. That's perfect lead for you, Coach G.
Yeah. I think I wrestled at Valley back in the day, and it all starts with the head guy with Mockles. He's a father figure to me, but he really truly looks after everybody on the team and the coaching staff, and for what's best for them. He wants everybody to succeed, in whatever they're doing in life. And we talk a lot about it. Education comes first. The next thing, we want to develop our guys into outstanding young men, and be successful in society, whatever they go to do after they get off the mat. And then of course wrestling comes in there, where we've had a track record, and still have a track record of being successful, and and we plan on doing that as in the future. It's just there's other priorities that I think we kind of cater to a little bit more, and family style. We treat each other like a family, and I mean, to this day I still talk to guys I wrestled with in college, at least once a week, and we're still a tight-knit group 20 years later. So it's a really great dynamic. We look after each other. All the guys hang out together. Normally this time of year, we'll find the guys all kind of hanging out, playing spike ball or football or something outside. Now it's getting nice out, and kind of watch out. We still, I mean, with all this going on, I've been in contact with most of the guys about, hey, how's your classes going online? How's this going on? Because that's, when it comes down to it, that's the most important part about it all, is getting the education. And then we'll wrestle and we'll do well on that end of it. But just being successful in the classroom and off the mat is a huge part of what we try to instill into the guys.
So.
Yeah, I know. And on that, like, some guys, there's like 4 or 5 alumni that I never even was on the team with, that have been encouraging me, like Jake Exeter and Terry Berry, even like just a couple guys, Shane Hall, a lot of people that wrestled like either in Gino's time or like were coached by Gino that I never even wrestled with, that have just reached out to me all season encouraging me. or whenever they come into town, they talk to us. Some of them came to nationals. And it's just a real, like, I don't know, it's a really close lifelong connection. I think, I mean, extending for a long time, because there's a lot of people I never even knew in wrestling that I interact with a lot now.
No. Jesse, you got any final questions or anything?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. Let me stop the recording.